Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris with PearsonCoffee.com, and I'm here to help your brand make more sales with email. As part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I'm going to be breaking down an email from Oransi today. This brand sells air purifiers, specifically for pet dander and things like that. They also sell their purifiers for other reasons, but this email is focused on pet dander. So this email it looks like a product specific email. It is a general newsletter, but it is focusing on air purifiers and how you can actually use them to essentially manage pet dander if you have pets. So they're definitely targeting a specific group of people in their email list, a certain segment. So that's a great start. But there are a few pieces here in this email that I think brands could take away to actually make more sales with email with their own list and their own sends that I'll go ahead and break down today. So yeah, this is a product email. It's about air purifiers and it's for pet owners or pet caretakers. So let's go ahead and dive into the email and dig into the insights. So yeah, let's go and start with the subject line. Subject line that I received was "Pet dander is hiding where?" Question mark exclamation point. So this subject line is playing on paranoia and fear. So something that as a pet owner myself, I have a dog. Actually, there's two dogs in our house, and pet dander, pet hair, things like that. It's a thing. It's a real thing. So there's this idea that if you just vacuum it up after it falls on the floor, that's pretty much it. Well, what Oransi does, Oransi, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'm sure I'll figure that out later. But they actually position their purifiers as the mechanism behind the solution to actually managing pet dander before it even hits the floor. So that's a great mechanism, and I'll talk about that later on in the email because they do mention that in the email, and I point that out. But this paranoia fear with pet dander is hiding where? It's like, oh, I thought I was taking care of it because I was vacuuming or I was mopping the floor or whatever it may be to clean up the stuff off the floor from your pets. Oransi's poking that poking that pain point or putting doubt in your mind to cause that pain point. So emotionally, you're like, okay, maybe I'm missing something. So that gets the click, right? That gets people to open this up and say, what am I missing if I'm not getting it already? So, or I thought I cleaned my house or my area pretty well. So pet dander shouldn't be around unless I just don't clean. And it's like, well, what am I missing? So yeah, paranoia fear, that's the main driver here for this subject line that I see. When you open the email, we've got the brand name and its little logo here at the top, which is not big enough to be intrusive, but it's enough to say, hey, this is the email from Oransi. This is where you're at. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you clicked on. And then they use a poem here, or the start of a poem, to actually bring you in and make you feel sweet or just feel good about reading the email of like, oh yeah, it's pets. It feels good, loving, caring, things like that. Speaking of my own pet, I absolutely love my dog Sylvie. So this poem was like, oh, this is going to be a nice poem. It's going to be sweet. It's going to make me feel good. And Oransi actually switches gears at the end. So switches gears at the end to like give you like a pattern interrupt to get your attention, right? So the apple of your eye, the air under your wings, and then the last line here is the dander in your air, the question mark. So they go from that sweet, loving feeling of having a pet to, is there dander in your air? Like this is a place that's hiding in plain sight that maybe you're not cleaning well enough, and it could be causing issues for you in your life and in your pet's life. So I think this is a nice little way to intro an email. Is to start with a poem and pattern interrupts, right? To get people's attention, to make them question even more. And it's in the air. How do I clean that? Right? You're pointing at the problem, and then after you point out the problem, Oransi does this really well. They actually talk about they agitate that problem a little bit. So they actually get you to feel the problem of maybe there is danger in the air. That's why I have allergies. I'm not feeling great. We got sinus stuff going on, things like that. So their next piece of copy here is, your pet may be one of the best things to happen to you. The allergies they cause, you could live without those. So they say there's pet dander in the air, and then they agitate that problem by saying it's the allergies, right? You're feeling the symptom of that pet dander being in the air because you have allergies, and you usually don't have those, right? Or when your pet's not around, or if you're out in the park or outside, you don't have allergies, but when you're home, you do. Why is that? So they put that doubt and that question in your mind, right? They poke the pain of the pet dander in the air, and then they agitate that pain by saying, is it allergies? And then the next piece here, which is the solution here, is get the scoop on a dander-free home. It isn't vacuuming twice a day. So they address an objection as well. So get the scoop on dander-free home. So the actual solution is a dander-free home. That's the result you want, right? The solution is getting an air purifier, which they mention here in a second. Then the objection is, well, I vacuum already, so why do I need this? That's probably a common objection, like I mentioned earlier in this breakdown, is that if you vacuum, if you wipe down your windowsills, if you mop the floor, wipe down counters, things like that, you're doing what you're quote unquote supposed to be doing. Yet Oransi is letting you know that dander still floats in the air, still hangs out in the air. So you need to be purifying your air to make sure that you're getting all of the dander. And because you have allergies, that could be the reason why. Is because you have pet dander in the air. So if you have those symptoms, you have allergies, it's time to consider what's actually happening in your house with this dander. And then they use learn the facts and lessen your allergies today. So Oransi is actually using an education based selling type here. So they want to educate you so you are aware of the problem and you're aware of the solution that they provide. So the awareness level of a customer reading this email, they're targeting people that are problem aware. They know they have allergies. They're not really sure why. They're trying to figure it out, or they're just taking maybe some daily allergy medication or something. And so they're problem aware. They know they have a problem. They know they have allergies, but they're not sure why. Then Oransi pokes that problem and says, "Hey, you have this problem. Oh, by the way, it could be allergies. And also, too, if you want to make those go away, learn how. Here's the facts about our air purifiers, and here's the facts about how to actually get rid of your allergies if it's from pet dander." And so they use an education model here to move people from problem to solution aware, and then on this learn the facts page or product page, they're probably going to move people from that solution aware of like, hey, now you know that how air purifiers work, and know that it's a solution to the allergies that you have because of pet dander. Click here to compare prices, or click here to buy. So you're going to move them from solution to product aware, and then they're going to buy. They're going to become most aware. So email can function as a mover from like across awareness stages for the buying journey. So from unaware to problem solution to brand or product to most aware, email can work in any of those slots really, as long as you send it to the right person on your list. If you segment it properly, if you're sending a solution aware email to somebody that's unaware, they're going to say, okay, cool, that's great, but I don't need this. Like, I'm not going to read this. If you send a problem aware email to somebody that's comparing prices because they've looked at the solutions and they know which products or two products they're looking at, and you talk about the problem again, they're saying, yeah, I know I have that problem. I'm already trying to buy something, get out of my way. And they're not going to read your email. So matching that buying awareness stage, matching your emails to those buying awareness stages, and then pairing that with the customer in that stage, doing that's going to increase your ability to get conversions and your ability to get sales. So knowing where the customer's at, meeting them where they're at in their buying stage is super important when you're sending emails. Even though email typically is considered a middle or bottom of the funnel channel, you can still use it as top of funnel depending on how you build your list. So it just depends on who's on your list, how you segment them, and what you're sending them depending on their stage, their buying stage. You want to make sure you get that right. If you get that right, you're going to increase conversions, opens, clicks, etc., because you're speaking to somebody where they're at in their stage and in their process of buying your products or products similar to yours, or in the market searching for one, just depending on where they're at in awareness. So make sure you get that right. The rest of the email here, we have the air purifiers, just general category with a picture. We have our filters, general category with a picture, your socials, and your footer. So that's pretty much it for this breakdown. The two big points here is one, the opening of this email, they use a pattern interrupt to make you feel sweet, and they make you go, oh, ooh, that's gross. Maybe there's dander in my air. I'm not cleaning that. So they get you to change emotion here. They try to get you to go from sweet, loving, caring, compassionate, like warm feeling to like a gross, maybe disgusting feeling of like, you maybe I do love my pets, but like maybe there's dander in my air. Maybe that is why it's causing allergies. And they get you to switch emotions. They get you to change from one emotion to another, which causes a resonance, which means they're connecting with your brand. They're connecting with this moment with you. And then the second thing is talking about essentially your mechanism behind how you actually help them solve the problem. That mechanism of it's not vacuuming twice a day. It's actually this, learn the facts. Going from the assumed mechanism of the solution to the actual mechanism, that differentiation can actually help you sell a lot of product, because going from vacuuming because you believe all dander falls to the ground, so that may not be true. And if it's not true, then the idea of actually pulling the air into a purifier and purifying the air, not just the dander and removing the dander on the floor, that's a different mechanism, right? It's a different how on how to solve the problem that the customer's actually having. So those are the two big insights: is pattern interrupt to change emotion, to get attention and keep attention, and then also to speaking about the mechanisms behind the solution, the problem, etc., so that you can differentiate your product with either what's in the market, what's commonly sold to, what's commonly believed. Mechanisms are the how behind something works, and if you can define your mechanism as different, or change, or talk about how it's different than what people usually believe, or you can advance it or evolve it just enough to where it's new enough, that mechanism can actually be your big selling differentiator, your selling point. And you don't have to do a whole lot of hard work because people already know what the normal mechanism is, which with pen enters vacuuming, the next stage is, okay, you vacuumed everything. Now what? You're still breathing air and you still have allergies. Purify the air. That's what's actually going to get you to feel better, and remove that dander from the air from your home. So those are two big insights. I hope this helps. Please take this back to your brand, and leverage it with your list and your subscribers. If you do use any kind of insights from this video or my other videos that I have on my YouTube channel, please let me know. I would like to hear the results you have. Maybe talk through what you did, and how it worked and what you're going to do next. So yeah, I hope this helped, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.